Coach, what kind of interested you to get into the college game?
I would say the question that was asked to me in the interview process was, why college football? And I said, well, it's Notre Dame. I said, I love working with athletes of all levels, but I think the thing that intrigues me with college is the ability to develop. Having the time to develop them is key, and you just don't have that in a lot of other aspects of our field.
And then what are a couple of just pillars of your program that you want to instill moving forward?
Sure. I think the biggest thing is, like I said, going off of development, and everybody's at different stages. And looking at that, I look at the holistic athlete, looking at all the things that are trainable qualities, from mobility to strength to speed to power, and how to actually coordinate those things all together at the right time to unleash optimal results. And obviously the cornerstone is the fitness and the conditioning as well.
Being that you were in the NFL, what do you feel like you can bring to a program like this?
I think I can give I've seen this guy do this, and I've seen him do it at this level, and here's what separates the great performers at this level versus that level. I think that's intriguing to our student athletes. I think they want to hear about those guys and what did they do specifically. So I think that's part of it, and I just think I've been able to see a lot of different programs from the college level. When they come into us for the off-season program, I can see where there were gaps in different college programs and sit there and identify them and give our guys the best program. So when they do go on to that next stage, they're ready to hit the ground running.
What have you seen from the athletes here in such a short time?
Yeah, it's such a short time. I will say this, as I told them the other day, there's advertised. I told when I got here, I was going to get a hardworking group. I was going to get a good group of kids and smart. They're bought in. They listen to coaching, and that's been the biggest thing that I've been looking for. Is can you take the coaching? If you can't take the coaching from me, there's a trickle down to the field. So making sure that they can take the coaching from me in this winter program to be able to lead those skills and those habits to what's going to happen in the spring.
Coach, for the early enrollee freshmen, kind of having their first introduction to kind of a strength and conditioning program, kind of what has been your advice, and what have you seen from them in such a short time?
I think the biggest thing when you look at the freshmen, the incoming crew's been incredible, first of all. Great crew of kids. The biggest thing we talk to them about is learn our process, learn what we do. Here's how we're going to do things. It's not about what you do, but it's about how you do it. And so those are the things, I told them early, I told all of them, I'm sharpening the axe right now. Right now I'm sharpening the axe, and then we go to cut down the tree. So ultimately it's about teaching and having them learn our cadence of what we do and how we expect things to be done. Technical proficiency is number one priority, absolute number one priority. When I talked about the gaps that I saw a lot of times in the NFL when college players would come into us, I could see where the gaps were in priority lifts and how they were done technically, and was your program just about moving weight or was it about doing it right?
In the short, also talking about the coaching staff, what intrigued you about the coaching staff? You talked about it being Notre Dame in general, but the coaching staff, Freeman and these guys here.
Yeah, Coach Freeman, same thing as advertised. His energy, his passion, his details, it just oozes. And so for me, I felt that I could be lockstep. A lot of times in pro football, a lot of times you're not always lockstep with the head coach. But in college, it's a bigger role in college. So to be able to sit there and be lockstep with Coach Freeman and his coaching staff, I couldn't ask for a better staff to be with.
What are some of the challenges of tailoring a program to kind of have them peak in November and December?
Yeah, you have a long runway, right? We have a long runway right now, which is great because it's about development. And so the goal is to make sure we're getting in the right work, because there's something called the rate of training involution. The work that I do early in the off season leads me into better gains for the in season. So ultimately we're laying that foundation right now to be able to pull on things later in the year. So there's some aspects where you don't have to go as hard in different aspects of conditioning because you put down such a broad foundation. Ultimately you can build the house, but if the foundation isn't broad enough, you're going to have problems with it. So I love having the long runway.
When you first came in, what was the message that you gave these guys, and then also the expectations that you have for them?
Yeah, I would say with this crew, like the message was the same, whether it was the freshmen or everybody here. It was ultimately, it's about the details. The details matter. We talk about the details. We talk about, every second matters. I pull out my stopwatch on my first meeting with the guys, and I had somebody hit start and stop as fast as they could on it. And you get 0.2 of a second. You get 0.2 of a second, then I tell them, I said, that's the difference between a 4.6 and a 4.4 with what you just did with your finger. That tells you that everything that we do matters. And so it's been that type of message the whole way through. The details matter. Leadership, how we lead matters. How we lead you guys, and then how the players lead themselves.
One more, if you got it. All right, all set?
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you. Kris, what sold you on Notre Dame? You made a relatively quick decision after going in the portal.
Yes, sir. Notre Dame was actually recruiting my little brother, really heavy, and they were top 2 for him. It was either Penn State or Notre Dame, and he ended up going with Penn State, but they really liked him a lot, and I liked the attention they gave him. But when I had entered the portal, they came at me pretty hard, and Chad, he had hit me up, and Marcus Freeman actually hit me up directly, saying they want me to get up there. Like that weekend, I entered the portal. So once I came up here, I connected with some players, Ben Morrison, Jordan Clark, the coaches, and it just felt like home immediately. So that's why I chose Notre Dame.
And then, not saying you weren't a confident player, but that Arkansas game last year, did that give you confidence that you could take your game to a higher level too?
Most definitely, but I always knew, I had it. I could play at a high level, and just anywhere I go, I could perform. So, but Arkansas definitely was a statement game for me.
What's been the difference, what's been the culture that you noticed since you've been here, just how things operate here at Notre Dame as opposed to, before?
I'll say at FIU, it was kind of like guys were just playing just to play. I feel like here at Notre Dame, everybody's trying to get to the next level. Everybody's trying to win every day in and day out. There's a goal that everybody's trying to accomplish, and just feels like that's what I want to be a part of, win a national championship. So.
You said you talked to a couple of guys on your visit. What's been the conversations with the receiving corps, and now that you've been here and kind of got to know their skills and what they bring to the table?
The conversations just been playful, just getting to know the guys, connecting with them. Just know we all got a common goal, which is to compete with each other and get each other better every day, and just go out there and make plays for the team.
What do you feel like you can bring here to Notre Dame? Obviously, your speed kind of jumps out immediately, but what else do you feel like you can provide to this offense?
Sir, I feel like I could, make the plays, and when they come to me, I could make big plays for the team. Keep the team going day in and day out. Bringing like an electric, a good leader example, and just continue to use the young guys and getting them better every day, and just being a good on the field and off the field example for them.
And then when it comes to the quarterbacks and being able to develop a relationship and catch some passes from them, what has it been like to interact with them and kind of get on a more personal level?
It's actually been going pretty quick with Steve and CJ and Kenny and Riley. We've been throwing, weekly, trying to just build a connection here and there. So it's been good with them, just connecting with them on a personal level, off the field. It's been good, so I'm really looking forward to it.
I know it's been early, but what's just the overall feel of this offensive group so far?
It feels like they're already connected. I'm just here, to just come in to build on what they already have going on. So just trying to find my role and find my place in the offense, and just being as electric as I have been through my college career. So I know that would be a good help to them.
What excites you about this offense? What you're walking into, what you said you can bring to the offense?
Right. Well, beforehand when I committed, Coach Parker was still here. But then when I got news of him leaving and Denbrock was coming in, I was extremely excited about that, because I know that LSU had a great offense last year, and they're really explosive and dynamic, and I know my game fits perfectly with that. So just getting downfield and making big plays, like I said earlier, was just the main goal, and just keeping us alive in the game.
Let's do one more.
Is there a part of your game that people might not talk about enough at this point?
I would say people don't talk about my speed enough. I feel like they think I'm like a 4.4 guy, but I'm much faster than that, and they'll know soon enough. That's all I'll say.
All right, thanks, Chris.
Thank y'all so much.
Kim, how's the knee and everything?
Knee's good, and that was no major concern really. I knew that once I got here, I'd do the things that I need to do, and kind of since the beginning, since I got here, I was full go. Anyways, it was just some minor stuff that had to be shown care.
And then I know he's been on the road quite a bit, but what are just your early impressions of Coach Brown?
He loves the grind. You know, when we're just in the group chat or talking, you know, he's making sure we're not only getting work in, but make sure we're in the playbook. You know, he makes sure we know that it's the off season, but it's also go time. And I think we've handled that pretty well as a group. We're bonding, holding each other accountable. So all those things. So even though he's not here, we're still making sure that we can function and be cool, when he's not. So.
There were several veteran wide receivers already in the room, and now, a couple of additions in the transfer portal as well. What have you kind of taken away from them and learned about what it means to be a college football player?
Obviously, all the transfers we got, and kind of just guys like Jayden and Jordan, who were huge impacts last year. It's nice that this room is, experienced, because I think that's something that we needed as a room, and to have these older guys who've been in the game for a while. I think guys like me who, obviously I just got here, can learn from, and I'll continue to do so as I'm here. So I know as I'm working with these guys, I'll find some things to kind of tweak and get right from them, because they have all the knowledge in the world, and then with someone like Coach Brown. So
Cam, seeing you at the basketball game already, man. You seem to be enjoying the coaches so far here. What have you taken away from the coach at Notre Dame, regardless of the sports now that you've seen, a few of them?
I'm talking about like Coach Drew?
Well, just the culture here.
Oh, culture.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's close-knit. I kind of can tell that, especially probably more at football games, but that's just like student body here, wants to see the sports do good. And it kind of felt nice to be at that basketball game, because it's like, I felt that was like my first moment to kind of feel like I was like just a student here. And I think that's really important, to be someone just outside of, your sport. Because we went to, I think the girls' game was like the following day or the day after. And I think we're going again this weekend. So it's just nice to do something that's outside of football. So.
And obviously you were excited to come here to join CJ, but now you get the addition of Riley Leonard as well. What's it been like bonding with those guys here on campus now that you guys are all here together?
It's been good. Riley, he's a great natural leader. Obviously he just got here too, but we can tell that, he wants to be here. Like he's got the same, visions that we have. And he's kind of been good with taking guys like me, Micah, just the younger guys in, and CJ, to kind of just make sure we're all on the same page. So.
You were a big part of this recruiting class, obviously, but in kind of helping to get other guys on board and just being a part of like bringing people in with you. And just how important was that for you as a player to get, try to get some of these other big name recruits to come on board?
Talking about our class alone? Yeah, it was nice because signing day was easy. And I think we were all big parts of that kind of recruiting process. I say you look at our class and it's like we were brothers during the process, and we obviously still are. It's just the bond's so tight. So I think that kind of helped kind of keep everybody together. Like, yeah, you got guys like CJ, me, Kingston, like just names that can maybe bring us in, but I feel it was more so like how we presented ourselves to each other that then allowed all of us to come together and kind of just be one. So.
Cam, you took like 50 visits during your recruiting process. I guess what makes Chad just a genuine person outside of just the recruiting part of it?
The care factor. He loves us, we love him. And I feel like every time we were here, he was just as excited to see us every single time. And I think that truly does does a lot for a recruit who's thinking about where to go, or even just us being committed that we're wanted here, we're welcomed here, and that's how you should feel with a school, right? So.
Ken, what's it been like getting to know Micah better? I know you guys kind of bonded throughout the recruiting process.
Yeah.
What's that been like?
Yeah, that's good. Obviously in the same room all the time, in the same area in the locker room, working out together, lifting it, like everything. It's just good because, it was hard for someone, I didn't see him as much during actual recruiting process. Now that we're here, we can bond and, talk ball too. Obviously, there's stuff I can learn from him and vice versa. So I think, us being together has been really good. So.
Cam, you seem to be very mature. Is that kind of what you were raised, how you were raised, or is that more so like, you know, has being at Notre Dame played into this?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I do like kind of get that a lot. I don't know, my family says since I was the only child for most of my time, I was just with like older people, like way far from my age, and I was talking to them. So I felt like they said that kind of helps with, you know, how I can talk to people, just my way with adults. So, I mean, I take pride in it. That's good to know, hearing from a lot of people. And I think, you know, with choosing here, that maturity process was also just me reaching out to people who know these type of situations, and like mentors, uncles, you know, et cetera. There's a lot of people who helped in this process, and say I made the right one. So.
All right, thanks, Cam.
Thank you guys.
A lot of cameras.
Anthony, I guess how beneficial has you know, enrolling early been for you here at Notre Dame?
I would say it's been almost amazing, you know, being able to be ahead of the curve like that. It's a really good thing to have. Most of the commits are already early enrolled, so the whole point was kind of get ahead of everyone. But, you know, kind of hard to get ahead of everyone when everyone's already ahead, so.
Kind of said everybody has the same standards basically to come in here and get going. How does that make you feel as a person on this team, that knowing that everybody kind of has that same mindset to, you know, work on the same grind?
Well, I think it's really important, you know, a team to have the same mindset. Makes me feel, you know, that we have a really good squad. Having that chemistry locked in together, that's what makes a good team. So I'm really excited to be part of that.
How's kind of the O-line room embraced you guys as early enrollees, and I guess has anyone taken you under their wing so far?
Yeah, I've had a couple, Ashton, Craig, Tosh, and Billy, you know, working out with them. They definitely care for us. They want us to get better. You know, they do a good job at that because they know what position we're in and everything's new to us. So they're trying to make it as easy as they can be. But at the same time, you know, they like to mess with us a little bit. So, but that's just normal, you know, being a freshman also.
And then how has just adjusting to the strength and conditioning program in college been for you?
It's definitely different, you know. Not easy, it's true. You know, it's hard. But I was lucky enough to have a very good strength coach back home who got me prepared. So it wasn't a surprise when I came here. I knew the mentality I have to have. So it wasn't too bad, but I know it's only going to get worse.
And then position-wise, have they kind of informed you where they kind of want to work you at this spring yet?
Yeah, so they said for spring they're going to have me at right tackle and center, which I know it's a pretty different combination. So I'm just trying to learn the plays right now. Just kind of get used to get my weight up. I think those are my biggest things. You know, I got plenty of time to work on my fundamentals and all that, but those two right now, and then whatever changes, whatever happens, is going to happen.
What's it been like to try and get your weight up with Coach Landow?
Well, you know, I think they do a great job. You know, Alexa's nutritionist and everything, but weight's always been an issue for me. But every resource I need is there. Like, I have every opportunity to get my weight up. So I want to say that's the hard part. It's more just kind of like force feeding yourself. You know, getting the consistency of having to eat every single day. You know, to the point where you look at food and you're like, all right, it's too much. But you get the opportunities that you need. So I'll be there by time.
Tons of great O-linemen have come through here. What does it mean to you to play that kind of position here at Notre Dame?
It's definitely, you know, I got some big shoes to fill, literally. But I'm up for it, you know. I know the standard here, and I feel like I'm confident in myself where I can compete at that standard. So I'm excited, a little bit nervous, but it's all a new process. I'm just looking forward to it.
Did you snap in high school or growing up at all? Has that been an adjustment for you here?
So honestly, I've never played center in my life. So the first time I got out here, I was trying to get my snaps in and everything. You know, they're rolling everywhere. They're going 50 feet above the quarterback. So me and CJ Carr, we've been here every day, probably getting at least 100 snaps in. So I finally got, you know, my snaps down consistently. So I'm just trying to get used to it, you know, get the right instincts when there's a linebacker blitzing and all that stuff. So definitely a new experience.
How was the idea of playing center approach you? Because I know you were a guy that played a lot of tackle in high school. So, like, how did they bring that up, and why do you feel like you're capable of playing a new position?
So they kind of brought it up. They met with the O-line group, and then they're just kind of like, hey, position-wise, just prepare for this one, you know, because when the older guys are taking us in outside, we'll be working out with, like, Craig or something. And basically for me, it's whatever it takes to get on the field. So I don't really care what position I'm playing, you know what I mean? I just want to get on the field. What was your other question? What did you say?
Yeah, just like why do you feel confident you can make a new position, especially playing at a high level, everything else that goes with it?
Because I've always been an athletic kid, basically. Like, I can move around. I can play any position I need to play. That's kind of what brings me the confidence. You know, I have great coaching, so I know they're going to take me under my wing. So that's what the part I'm not really too worried about. Yeah, I'm just more excited for it.
One more. That's good. All right, thanks.
Perfect. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Kedren, how's the transition to college in the Midwest kind of gone for you so far?
I've been enjoying it so far. You know, at first I got here and, you know, the cold weather, you know, got to me a little bit, but I done adapted to it now, so I've been enjoying the process.
And then Lufkin obviously has produced several Power 5 guys. I guess, how does that program prepare you guys to handle what's coming in college?
You know, the coaches and you know, the players, you know, we've all, you know, worked hard, you know, during the season and, you know, off season, you know, getting us prepared for, you know, the next level. So I think, you know, give credit to the coaches and Lufkin, shout out to my city. You know, giving credit to them for, you know, preparing us for the next level. So.
What do you remember about the final days leading up to signing day? Like, did schools try to push you to stay close to home? I know you had a lot of great options in your backyard.
Yeah, I had a few schools, you know, try to blowing up my phone, trying to, you know, get me to come there, but you know, I stayed true to Notre Dame, and I'm glad I'm here.
Well, why stay here? I mean, I know you only, I think, 2 visits before you ended up enrolling. Like, what led you to coming back, you know, confident in your decision to stick at Notre Dame?
You know, the talks with the staff and, you know, the bonds I made with the team, my teammates, they played a big part and it felt authentic when I was here. So, you know, like I said before, I'm just glad to be here.
You know, Coach McCullough has obviously coached in the NFL. He's coached plenty of running backs come from here and really everywhere. Like, why is it so enticing to want to be one of his players?
You know, it's great. Like you said, he has a lot of experience, and not even just his experience from football, but he's also, you know, a great man. And you want to be around somebody, you know, that has values and wants you to get better, all his players to get better. So shout out to Coach McCullough. You know, I'm glad, you know, he's my coach.
Kedren, I guess, how accepting have the older guys been, and just kind of what have you learned about kind of them and the early chemistry you guys have built?
Ask the question again, I'm sorry.
What kind of takeaways do you have from like the older guys and kind of that chemistry that you've been able to build with them in this first month?
You know, just learning, you know, seeing what they're doing and, you know, trying to model. You know, the older players, you know, they've been great leaders and been trying to push us. So, you know, it's always good to have somebody that's trying to push you. So they've been great leaders.
Your recruitment was a little different than, like, say, Cam, who's been here like 50 times. What were just your first impressions when you stepped on campus and met Chad for the first time?
You know, Chad's a character, but he's also great at his job. He's passionate about his job, and, you know, just talking with him, you know, you can tell that he loves the program just as much as everybody else does. So, you know, that was kind of the start of my love for here.
When you look at this running back core that's here, what do you see yourself fitting in, you know, on and off the field, just, you know, meshing with this group of guys?
You know, we have great players, you know, aside me and Aeneas. You know, the older guys, like I said before, they've been, you know, being leaders, you know, trying to push us and lead us. So, you know, just being around that every day, you know, it's making you better. And, you know, you can learn a lot of things from the other running backs. So, you know, I'm glad to be around this core.
And what have you just taken away just as an offense in general, just kind of being around the complete group recently?
You know, as far as off season, you know, just, you know, technique in the weight room, technique, you know, in drills. You know, learning leadership skills also from, you know, older guys that are leaders. So I think all of that.
Got one more?
Coach McCullough has been known to be a guy that's going to play freshmen, play them early. Like, kind of what's your mindset, what's your approach on being able to contribute early? How much do you think you're capable of early on? I know you're just enrolled, so it's all an adjustment, but is that something that you feel motivated to do, is come in and try to play as much as possible?
My biggest thing is just, you know, do whatever I can do to contribute to the team. Whether, you know, that's not
getting a lot of playing time, whether it's getting a lot of playing time. But as long as I'm, being a contribution to my team, it's all that matters to me. So.
All right, thanks, Peter.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm sure you answered this upstairs, but I guess what was just kind of the whole process of getting to Notre Dame after stepping away from the game for a little bit?
Sure. Hopefully I'll give a quicker answer than upstairs. So I went to the Citadel to join the Army as an Army officer. I was redshirted my freshman year, so when I graduated and commissioned at the end of 4 years, I had 1 more year left of eligibility. I had been told that some NFL scouts had started calling my coaching staff at the Citadel saying I had potential NFL interest if I had a similarly good final 5th year, but I wasn't taking that 5th year. But so with that information in the back of your mind, you think you're pretty good. So it's kind of hard to step away from that fully and not think that one day you might not come back. So I was in the Army. I thought maybe I was going to do 3 or 4 years and then either return to school to either go to law school or get my MBA, which I'm now doing, or I was just going to go to the NFL. 3 years turned into 7 years in the Army, and so it didn't quite work out to where timing-wise, leaving the Army and enrolling in school worked football-wise, or so I thought. I came to Notre Dame fully expecting to be able to play football because I got approval to leave the Army on July 18th. I flew home on August 3rd, and class started August 8th for the NBA 2-week orientation. So Notre Dame's football season for the 2023 season had started on July 26th. So for all those reasons, I really couldn't have been on the team until late August or later. And I wasn't exactly kicking the football during that time. I just finished a little over a year deployed in Europe. I was stationed in Germany, but then once Russia invaded Ukraine, my unit deployed to provide defense to the aid and resupplying effort of the Ukrainian nation. So I wasn't really kicking the football at all during that time. So for all those reasons, it just really made me feel like coming back and playing football is impractical. But kind of worked out timing-wise to where actually by being in the Army later than what I had originally requested, because I submitted my request to leave the Army at the end of December 2022, and 7 months later in July is when I was given the thumbs up. So for all those reasons, it works out to where now I'm a student. I've done a semester here in the MBA program just this past fall, and now I have a full year with the team to get ready for next year's season. So it all kind of works out. You don't quite see how it plays out or makes sense as it's going on. Sometimes it's really frustrating, but I'm really happy to be standing here right now and telling you how that happened. Yeah.
Was it more the staff reaching out to you coming to the staff? I guess how get back involved?
Sure. So I reached out to the Notre Dame football program originally that same time, December, but fortunately I didn't hear back. I didn't really have a compelling case for why I should be a walk-on for the 2023 season, given the fact I wasn't kicking the football. I was pretty honest. I said, I'm deployed. I can't send you any film or anything like that, but I believe I'm still good enough to play. It actually worked out to where in my eligibility waiver request that I sent up to the NCAA, I demonstrated my intent to play football early on, but I was unsuccessful in actually making that happen, and for all the other timing reasons why. But once I got here, I was still fully accepting of the fact that I wasn't going to play football. But my dad sent me a newspaper clipping about a week after I was here of the Marine Corps pilot at UVA who just played his 6th season or 6th year of football at UVA as a kicker. So it kind of reignited the dream of maybe the NCAA would give me a waiver as well to play 1 more year. So I started training again at the end of August and onward. At the end of September, I reached out to the staff because I wanted to make sure I was actually going to be good enough to play football again. I didn't want to say, hey, let me try out if I wasn't good enough. So I gave it some time. I figured at the end of that month-long period, if they said, yeah, come try out right now, I'd be ready. So it worked out to where basically at the end of November, I was offered a spot on the team if my eligibility was approved. So then I worked with the compliance office here, submitted my waiver request, and got it back at the end of December 22nd. Got the email from the compliance office saying the NCAA had given me approval to play. So everything's kind of fallen in place since then, coming back the first week back of school, did all the team meetings, team activities, physicals, and been working out with the team for the last 3 weeks. Has been a pretty surreal experience so far.
Yeah, is it strange going from a team at the Citadel to basically a team in the Army to now get back to playing football?
That was one of the things I said to Coach Biaggi. I need a new team. I've been on a team my whole life. I played sports since the time I was 6. I'm 30 now, just turned 30 this past Christmas. And so it's great to be on a team. It's a lot of fun. I feel like I have a lot to offer, and so far I've had just as much explained to me as I've explained to other people, if not more. And the fact that I'm 30 and everyone else is 18 to 23 makes no difference. They've been very welcoming and very helpful in getting me up to speed on how Notre Dame football operates. So it's been really cool.
How much has changed maybe about football, college football in general, since you last played till today?
Sure, yeah, a lot has changed. If you played one down, that was your red shirt was gone. Now you get 4 games. NIL wasn't a thing. That's probably the biggest thing. A lot of football helmet models got fitted for a football helmet, and they said, which one do you prefer between 2 brands? And I said, neither of these football helmets existed when I last played football, so I don't know. So there's stuff like that, but football is still football. Obviously, I've kept up, I've kept in shape, and it was great just being able to train for the last 4 months to get back to where we just kicked last night as a special teams unit, and it felt really good. It's a great facility here to our right, y'all's left. So it's just really cool to be a part of that.
You guys like me that's 30 years old hope, but I want to know like what's changed, I guess, in your day-to-day activity. Now you go from NBA for 1 semester, now incorporating football into that. How's your schedule changing, adjusting rather?
Sure, the schedule's great. Speaking with Coach Smith, special teams coach, he told me that a lot of the off-season workouts and then the spring practice takes place in the morning, so I was able to set up my schedule even though I still wasn't a part of the team yet. I was able to block off that period so that way I could be free. So we have workouts in the morning. It's just like the Army, except it's a little later, get to sleep in a little more. But morning workouts, and then you start your day. So it feels very not routine, but it feels comfortable to me. I'm used to it, so it feels good.
From a kicking standpoint, where do you feel like you are distance-wise in terms of getting that motion back and that repetitiveness?
Yeah, so when I first started back in like August, September, it wasn't like it wasn't like riding a bike. It took some time to get back to where I felt like I was good enough to play here, but I feel like I'm in a really good spot now. I'm really looking forward to just continuing to work out and get stronger and quicker. And looking forward to spring practice to hopefully have a chance to compete and to play.
One more.
What's the longest field goal you've had coming back?
So Spencer Schrader was just the kicker here this past season. I kicked a 60-yard field goal, and there's a son and a father out throwing the football, and they asked, "Are you Spencer Schrader?" And I said, "No, I'm not. I'm Eric." So that's where I've been able to hit from. But I'm here to punt and kick off and hold, do whatever. I'm not necessarily here to kick field goals, but if that's what the team needs, but it's not what they need. So I'm just here to contribute however I can.
All right, thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Talk about Notre Dame, with you being in the portal, Notre Dame being your destination.
Notre Dame the culture here is great. The enthusiasm from Coach Freeman, Coach Denbrock, Coach Brown, and the belief that we'll be playing for a national championship next season, that was a big part of my decision.
What are some of the biggest changes just adapting to a new school and a new team for you?
Big change is they have a great culture here, and the work ethic of these guys on the team is great, and that's the big difference.
And then I know it hasn't been like a lot of workouts yet, but what have you kind of taken away from Coach Landow so far?
Coach Landau is a great guy, very enthusiastic. His workouts is hard, but with great intention. Get great work every day, specific to positional needs, and yeah.
Jayden, what do you think you bring to the wide receiver core? I feel like a lot of people know you as a big-time return guy. So what kind of skill set are you going to bring to that receiver?
Speed. Speed is something that I pride myself on, and
that's what I bring to the receiver room, along with other guys such as Jayden, Kris Mitchell, Cam. So.
Who's the fastest of that group? You guys raced yet? Or?
No, we haven't raced yet.
You've played in Notre Dame Stadium before. Is it strange coming back? And I guess, was it like playing against Notre Dame and now being a player for Notre Dame?
It's crazy because on my visit, they took me to the stadium and I got the same chills that I got when I played here. So the transition it was not crazy. It's ironic that we beat them and now we're back and playing it, but I feel great being a part of this program.
CJ, what did you just get out of the bowl prep and going through practice and meetings and all that?
It was great being at all the bowl prep stuff. I got to learn a lot from older QBs in the room, just how to prepare for a game, how to prepare for practice, and just how they carry themselves. It's been a definite advantage that I've had, and I'm blessed to be in the position I am.
And then just heading into the spring, is there a part of your game or a detail that you kind of want to focus on to improve before you are coming out of the spring?
I think, the one thing I want to hammer home is just kind of getting a good start on the offense and understanding what I'm doing with the football when it's in my hands, where I'm going, what my read is, what coverage they're playing, and what my receivers are doing.
What's been like kind of connecting with this receiving group?
It's been a good group. It's a funny group. There's some characters in there for sure. We've had, just in the freshman class, it's Cam, it's Micah, you got Jack in there too. With Logan coming later, I'm rooming with Micah, and so it's been a good experience.
And then tons of experience in that QB room. What have you kind of taken away from these other guys?
I've learned a lot from the guys in the room, especially Riley coming in here. Steve has been a great resource throughout bowl prep too, of just kind of teaching me the ropes, and they've helped me improve mentally a lot.
I asked Cam the same question, but you guys were such huge parts of getting this recruiting class, and there were concerns that you might change your mind or you've been on board for so long. What was it about Notre Dame that made you want to stick with this program, but also to try to get other guys to come here with you?
I think Cam and I have talked multiple times. We've had both of our position coach leave, and so we've been through ups and downs already, and we haven't even been on campus yet. But I think the biggest thing for us was just the players in the room with us. We've spent 2 years with the guys in this room, helping recruit, helping just make everyone feel comfortable. And so it was more about the relationships we've built with the players than anything else. And then also trusting Coach Freeman to put the right guys in the right position, coaching wise and on the field. So it was a combination of both those things.
You've been here for a little over a month, about 1 or 2 months by now. What's it been like for you just to adapt to the culture here and kind of see what it is to be a Notre Dame football player?
Absolutely. We've always, when you step on this campus, you can kind of feel the energy that this campus brings. It's a different place. I visited all over the country, and I never felt at home like I do at Notre Dame. And so I kind of understood what the culture was coming in here, but just being here, it exceeds any expectations I ever had. It's a great place. It's a new home, and the coaches and the players have made me feel at home.
Since the time you committed, you had 3 different offensive coordinators. What's your early impressions on Mike Denbrock, his offense, and just like personality-wise, getting to know him? I know he's been on the road a lot, but how much have you gotten to talk to him, get to know him?
For sure. Coach Denbrock actually visited me my junior year at Saline. We ran into each other at the school, and so it's been a great few weeks getting to know him more in depth, and so saw him at the bowl game too. Got to exchange a few words with him. It's been great though. I'm excited for him to continue to coach the offense and get us in the right position to win football games.
That's good. All right, thanks, CJ.
Thank you.
Thank you. Peter, why was it important to get in here early for you?
I think it was really important just because, I wanted to kind of build that kind of routine, adjusting to like a college lifestyle. And I think that was the biggest thing for me, was to be able to get into that routine of, being at a college campus, kind of getting the classes, especially kind of getting that besides football kind of stuff out of the way, so I could be more used to that instead of coming into when I've seen the summer and then trying to adjust to it kind of a little more faster pace. So no, I definitely wanted to kind of get my feet kind of planned early first.
And then has Coach Rudolph kind of told you where they see you fitting in the spring?
Yeah. So as of now, I'm learning both guard positions, but again, kind of the big thing that they're emphasizing is being able to learn kind of all the positions as well. And like their biggest thing is, the more tools you have in your toolbox, the better. So I'd say that's kind of the goal now.
It's been like working with Coach Landow.
He's awesome. I love him. There's definitely a lot of stuff that I'm really excited about. Obviously, I know we're only on week 3, but I'm excited to see how that goes.
Is it better to have, like, since having that NFL pedigree and being that, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, no, like the biggest thing for him is like him and I've kind of talked about is like he knows what the NFL is looking for. He knows how, like, what they're going to want to see, how they're going to want you to perform, how they're going to want you to do all these different things, and like what it's going to be to able to get to that point. So I think having that tool and all that knowledge is super, super helpful.
Peter, how accepting of the older guys in the position room, and just what have we learned about the offensive line culture here?
It's awesome. I say I think offensive line speaks for itself as being the most like tight unit. So they've been super helpful, being able to kind of talk to all of them, kind of having them day in and day out, asking, are you good with this? Are you good with that? And then obviously just even the smaller things, kind of taking us out to eat places, like the relationships outside of football have been really nice too. Just because obviously, you all they can help you out in practice, help you out in lists and stuff, but really that like outside of football, them being able to help kind of relate to you, and then kind of like taking you out to things and doing different activities have been really nice.
We know this is like, you probably heard it as well, it's like O-line university.
Yep.
Does it feel that way now that you're in
It does. Now there's definitely a presence, for Notre Dame offensive lineman, so I'm definitely excited to be here.
You were one of Notre Dame's first commits. I guess what about Chad just kind of makes him effective at his job?
He's got, honestly, I love to say he's crazy, but he definitely has that energy, has that persona that guys just love. Super relatable, definitely. He just gets the guys. He can understand you. He's really good with families too. So no, he's obviously definitely really good at his job.
Have you had like a welcome to college football moment yet, whether it be classes or early workouts?
I'd say that first week, I forget what temperature it dropped down to, but we're walking, now the scooters are banned, so we're walking across campus and it's the real feels like -15. I'd say that's about it. Yeah. So.
How much do you embrace that? Do you embrace that? It sounds like it's maybe a little struggle. But.
No, I mean I think everyone kind of. I mean, if everyone's kind of dealing with it, it kind of is what it is. So no, that was just that first week hump to get over. So luckily today's weather's nicer.
That's good. All right, thanks, man.
Yeah, good stuff. Have a good one.
Styles, how's just kind of the transition to college kind of gone for you so far?
It's been pretty good. We started workouts pretty early, adjusting to classes, but there's a lot of resources here, so it's been pretty smooth for me.
And then heading into last year, I know you were coming off an injury and everything, but where did your game kind of grow the most your senior year?
Yeah, I think it grew a lot in my leadership abilities. Being a junior, I had some older guys that kind of got to fill that role, but just trying to lead a unit I think was a very important part for me senior year.
What positions have you worked at so far since you've been here? If you've gotten that far, I know you guys are working out and everything right now. But.
Yeah, Rudolph has me playing left tackle. Eventually he said he'd probably have me take a couple reps at right tackle, but I've been working left.
And then I know, like, after your season leading up to when you enrolled, you were working really hard with a trainer.
Yeah.
What was the biggest focus for you, like that 1-2 months gap? What were you working the hardest at to prepare yourself before getting here?
It was mostly strength. I felt like I was in pretty good shape, running wise. So it was mainly strength and getting some more footwork in, make sure I didn't lose a step.
Styles, after you committed, you kind of made it a priority to get back up here on visits. Kind of, what's kind of been your biggest takeaway at campus and just the environment here at Notre Dame?
Yeah, the campus is beautiful. It was one of the selling points, as I think it is for most athletes here. So I think just being around here, being around the team, being around the guys that you're going to be with for multiple years, day in and day out, it was really important for me. So yeah, just getting a chance to do that was important.
I asked Peter this. Have you had a welcome to like college football moment yet, or just welcome to college moment yet? Adjusting here that.
I don't know, not yet. We haven't got really into the competition stuff, so I haven't really gotten a chance to get my moment yet. I know it's coming, it's gonna happen, but no, it hasn't happened yet so far. It's been pretty good.
Micah, why was it important for you to come in early and kind of establish routines and everything like that?
For me to come in early, it was more so to get around the team, build relationships on the roster, and try to get ahead in the playbook-wise, build relationships with the coaches, and just get a head start trying to get on the field earlier.
And then what are kind of your early impressions of Coach Brown so far? And did he recruit you when he was at Cincinnati?
No, so it was the first time meeting Coach Brown when he got the job, but ever since he got the job, it's been a really easy relationship. He's a really good dude, getting to know him. Everything's been good, working out, and stuff like that, so this has been a great relationship.
And then I know your class was pretty close as a whole, but just having Jack and Bryce up here from your area, does that give you a little bit more comfort too?
It definitely helps because being so far away from home, it's nice to have some familiar faces around. So having these guys up here that I've known for years, it's helped a lot just build the transition to coming up here together.
You see the production of his offense over the last, how many years. What takeaways are something that's intriguing to you that you're looking forward to as you get to kind of break into the spring training camp?
It's just good seeing, obviously offense is changing with Denbrock come in, but they get the ball around, they give the ball to different guys, tight ends, wide receivers, running back, all different types of guys. So being a part of that, it feels good to be a part of that.
That's good.
What are your biggest goals for your freshman season? It feels like there's maybe some opportunity to see the field early. A lot of freshman receivers played last year. So what's your approach as you enter? I know fall's a long ways away, but what are you focusing on right now?
Right now, it's just learning from the older guys that have been. So we have a lot of transfers that came in. So learning from the 6 years that's came in, learning from the dudes that's already been in the program, trying to get the playbook down. Right now, I'm taking that approach to learn from the guys and hopefully use that to shorten the learning curve to get on the field earlier.
Who's been your biggest mentor since you've been here?
Right now, it's been all of the guys. All of the guys have gelled really well. I've been speaking to JT, Kris, all of them a lot. So speaking to all of them has helped a lot and try to shorten that learning curve to get out there on the field.
We asked a lot of offensive guys about their modern relationships with other guys on the offensive side of the ball, whether it be new or older, but what about the defensive side? Those guys back there got a pretty good defensive back room, the guys like Ben Morrison.
Yeah. I've talked to some of those guys, got to get to know them, but we're obviously on two different sides of the ball, so it'll be nice to build closer relationships and then also get on that field and build the competitiveness between them.
Riley, just to kind of get it out of the way, I guess.
Yeah, go ahead and ask
it. Procedure did you have done, and I guess how are you feeling?
Yeah, I feel great. It wasn't much of a secret. Like everybody on campus kind of saw me around moving on my electric wheelchair around campus, but I embraced it. I got surgery a couple weeks ago, and everything went super well. I'm walking around now with no boot. Tightrope surgery that I sustained in last year's season, so feeling good now and ready to roll.
And then how has it been for you just adjusting to a new team and culture and all that?
Yeah, at first got in here and I was a little bit overwhelmed, but as soon as I got into the locker room, it became like super easy to relate to these guys. They're all super inviting. Everybody took me in with open arms, even though I was, over here limping around for a couple of days. But it was all good. The coaching staff, Coach Freeman, is one of the most welcoming people that I've ever been around. He keeps his circle really tight, and fortunately, I'm in that circle now. And everybody's just been, super great to me, and I'm happy to be here in South Bend.
And then I'm sure you talked to several people about Notre Dame who had been there and whatnot. Were you able to pick the brain of Jamion at all?
Yeah, Jamion. He told me about all the good food spots around here. Jamion likes to eat. But nah, he's a super hard worker that transferred to Duke, I think 2 or 3 years ago. And I asked him pretty much everything about this place, and he gave me great answers. Everybody speaks super highly of him around here. So, he's a good guy to talk to, and I'm looking forward to seeing his career in the NFL. He's going to do a great job.
After that moment in playing Notre Dame this year, you had Sam come up to you after the game, I guess. What did you guys kind of share in that moment, and what does that say about Sam and also kind of about this program that somebody who's literally just trying to beat you come over?
Everybody was saying like he was recruiting me back then, but that wasn't true at all. He's a really good guy, and he came over to check on me, and even after that injury, he was checking in on me all season, and that really meant a lot to have an opposing quarterback who could have gone and celebrated with his team after a big win like that on College game day, to come over and wait outside the tent after I had that injury. It was pretty cool, and like I said with Jamie, I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do. I know he's in the Senior Bowl now, so looking forward to watching him.
The decision-making process for you to not enter the NFL draft or to choose Notre Dame over any other school that you could have gone to?
Yeah, after I enter my name into the transfer portal and Coach Freeman and them started reaching out, it was really an easy decision for me. My great-grandfather played here, James Curran, in 1940, in the early 1940s. And then just the Christian values here are very similar to mine. And as soon as, Notre Dame reaches out, you don't really turn them down. So it was really an easy decision for me. Obviously, I was one of the earlier people to commit, once you enter the transfer portal. So I knew immediately that this was the place for me.
Now, a ton of new people on this offense. Just how are you guys adjusting together so far?
Yeah, it's been great. Obviously, Coach Denbrock's coming in. Coach Jared Parker, I actually was able to see him at the bowl game. I was with Duke, and he was with Troy, so we were actually bowling. I saw him at a bowling alley. I turned around, and he was there. So it was good to see him, and I'm happy for him. And then with Coach Denbrock coming in, I'm really excited. Obviously, you see what he did with Jayden Daniels, and he makes the offense super easy for us. So we've been able to meet and get it going so far, and I'm excited to see what else he can do, in my game.
How's it been? I see you kind of have a little moment right there with Cam Williams, but how's it been with these young guys?
Yeah,
Like
Cam, man, he's a funny guy. It's been incredible. These guys are really, really talented and very mature as well for freshmen. So that whole class has been really cool to meet with. I'm an undergrad transfer, so I was with them the first week doing all the freshman orientation stuff all over again. So I got to know them pretty well, and like I say, all great guys and all super talented.
When you talk to the older guys, Jayden Thomas, Rosie, those guys, how's it been with those older fellas as well, just getting you, I guess, adjusted to the Notre Dame culture?
Yeah, once again, super welcoming people, man. It's, we've been able to hang out. I've only, been here for 2 weeks. We've hung out inside the Goog, our football facility. We, I've been able to shoot some free throws with them last week, and then we'll go out and hang out outside of Notre Dame and on campus. So great people, like I say, and it's super important to build a good relationship with your receivers. Obviously, I know that over the years, so I think I'm doing an okay job at that right now, and excited about it. Yeah.
What's it like to work right now with Steve and CJ and Kenny and that whole entire room?
Yeah, everybody always thinks that quarterbacks are just battling all year, but at the end of the day, you're with them so much, you become like best friends. So those are the guys. If I have a question about anything on campus, those are the guys I'm going to for answers. So they've been unreal. We're all super competitive. So whenever it's time to compete, we compete. But whenever it's time to not compete and go hang out and just be normal, college guys, we can do that too. So it's been great.
And then have you been able to talk with Gino at all about kind of like being a transfer quarterback like Sam was last year and the experiences that they took away and everything like that?
Yeah, I try to keep a super humble approach to everything. Coming in as a guy with maybe a little bit of hype, a lot of bit of hype, I don't really know. But if I have a lot of hype, I try to come in super humble and just ask questions and say, hey, I've talked to him. How can I help? That's all I'm here to do, is really help these guys. This isn't a program I'm coming in to try to carry or anything. I just want to come in and help them win games. So it's been great talking to him.
All right, thanks, Riley.
Thank you, guys.